The autumn air in Chicago carried a crisp bite as Terry Crews walked through Lincoln Park, trying to clear his mind before his evening talk show appearance. The golden October leaves crunched under his feet, and the late afternoon sun cast long shadows across the walking paths. Despite the beautiful scenery, Terry felt a heaviness in his chest that had been growing for weeks. Recently, he had been struggling with the weight of public expectations. After years of being seen as the strong, funny, always positive celebrity, Terry was going through one of the darkest periods of his life. His father had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease 3 months ago, and watching the man who raised him slowly fade away was devastating in ways he couldn't express publicly. The media wanted the same energetic Terry Crews they had always known, the man who flexed his pectoral muscles, cracked jokes, and radiated confidence. But inside, he felt like he was drowning in grief and the pressure to maintain his public persona. Every interview, every appearance required him to put on a mask that was becoming heavier each day. As Terry rounded a corner near the playground area, he noticed a small crowd gathered around the community center. A banner read, "Lincoln Park, After-School Program Fall Festival." Children's laughter filled the air, mixed with the sounds of carnival games and excited chatter. Despite his mood, Terry found himself drawn to the genuine joy emanating from the scene. He had always found comfort around children. Their honesty and pure emotions were a welcome break from the complicated adult world. Without thinking, he wandered closer to the festival, pulling his baseball cap lower to avoid recognition. He just wanted to be around authentic happiness for a few minutes. 6-year-old Emma Rodriguez was having the time of her life at the festival. Her grandmother, Maria, had brought her after school, and Emma was determined to try every game booth at least twice. With her wild curly hair bouncing and her gap-toothed smile shining, she embodied the kind of unbridled joy that only children possess. Emma had always been unusually perceptive for her age. Her teacher often commented on how she could sense when tiantimes. Other children were upset, even when they tried to hide it. Her grandmother called it an old soul in a little body, and Emma had learned to trust her instincts about people's feelings. As she ran from the ring toss to the duck pond game, Emma's attention was caught by a tall man standing alone near the edge of the festival area. Even with his cap pulled low, she could see something in his posture that made her little heart feel heavy. The man's shoulders seemed to carry invisible weight, and despite his size and strength, he looked lonely. Emma stopped running and watched the man for a moment. Her 6-year-old instincts told her that this person needed help, even though all the adults around her seemed oblivious to his sadness. Emma tugged on her grandmother's colorful shawl, pointing toward Terry. "Abuela, who is that man? He looks so sad." Maria Rodriguez, a wise woman in her 70s who had raised 5 children and helped with numerous grandchildren, followed Emma's gaze. She recognized Terry Crews immediately, but could also see what her granddaughter had noticed, the unmistakable heaviness of someone carrying deep pain. "Mija, that's a famous person," Maria whispered. "He's on TV and in movies. But you're right. He does look sad today." Emma's young mind processed this information. In her world, famous people were supposed to be happy all the time. That's what TV taught her. But this man looked like how she felt when she missed her parents, who were deployed overseas with the military. Without hesitation, Emma broke away from her grandmother's gentle grip and marched directly toward Terry. Her small legs carried her with determined purpose, her colorful festival balloon bobbing behind her. "Excuse me, mister," Emma said, her voice clear and confident as she approached Terry. "Why do you look so sad?" Terry looked down, startled by the direct question. He found himself staring into the most honest brown eyes he had ever seen. This little girl, with her festival prizes clutched in one hand and cotton candy in the other, had seen right through the carefully constructed facade he presented to the world. What?" Terry stammered, caught completely off guard by the child's directness. You look really sad, Emma repeated matter-of-factly. My abuela says when people look sad, sometimes they need someone to ask them why. So I'm asking, why are you sad? The simple, innocent question hit Terry like a physical blow. In all his interviews, therapy sessions, and conversations with friends and family, no one had asked him so directly about his sadness. Adults danced around the topic, offered solutions, or tried to cheer him up. But this 6-year-old had simply acknowledged his pain and asked about it with the kind of pure concern that only children possess. Terry felt his carefully maintained composure begin to crack. The weight of months of hidden grief, of pretending to be strong when he felt broken, of smiling when he wanted to cry, suddenly became overwhelming. That's a very big question, sweetheart, Terry managed to say, his voice slightly hoarse with emotion. Emma stepped closer, looking up at this giant of a man with complete fearlessness. I ask big questions sometimes. My teacher says that's okay. Are you crying because you miss someone? The perceptiveness of her question nearly knocked Terry over. How had this child, this stranger, managed to identify the core of his pain so quickly and accurately? Terry knelt down to Emma's eye level, his massive frame folding as he tried to process the flood of emotions her simple question had unleashed. Around them, the festival continued with its cheerful noise, but in this small bubble of space, everything felt intensely quiet and significant. Yes, Terry whispered, his voice breaking slightly. I miss someone very much. Emma nodded with the serious expression of someone who understood missing people. Is it someone who went to heaven, or someone who went far away? The question was asked with such genuine care and innocent wisdom that Terry felt tears begin to form in his eyes. He thought about his father, still physically present but mentally drifting further away each day as Alzheimer's stole pieces of the man who had shaped Terry's entire life. It's someone who's still here but not really here anymore, Terry explained, struggling to find words a 6-year-old could understand. His mind is getting sick and he's forgetting things. He's forgetting me. Emma's eyes widened with understanding. Like my friend's grandpa, he has the forgetting sickness too. She says some days he remembers her name and some days he doesn't, but she still loves him the same. The simple acceptance in Emma's voice, the way she normalized something that felt so devastating to Terry, created a crack in the dam he had built around his emotions. For months, he had felt isolated in his grief, unable to share the full weight of watching his father disappear piece by piece. It hurts when someone you love forgets you, Emma continued, with the matter-of-fact wisdom that only children possess. But my mama says that love doesn't live in the remembering part of the brain. It lives in the heart part, and that part doesn't forget. Terry stared at this little girl in amazement. Her words, spoken with such innocent certainty, offered more comfort than months of well-meaning advice from friends and professionals. The tears he had been holding back for weeks began to flow freely down his cheeks. You're very wise, Emma, Terry said, his voice thick with emotion. What else did your mama tell you about love and forgetting? Emma thought for a moment, her little face scrunched in concentration. She said that when someone's brain gets sick, we have to love them, extra hard to make up for all the love they can't remember. And we have to tell stories about the good times so the love doesn't get lost. By now, other people at the festival had begun to notice the interaction. Maria Rodriguez approached slowly, recognizing that something profound was happening between her granddaughter and this famous stranger. Other parents and children had also gathered at a respectful distance, sensing the emotional weight of the conversation. Terry wiped his eyes with the back of his hand, no longer caring about maintaining his public image. Emma, can I tell you about my dad? If I cried, it meant I wasn't strong anymore. Emma considered this seriously. But crying doesn't mean you're not strong. When I miss my mama and daddy, I cry really hard. But my abuela says I'm still brave. She says crying is how your heart cleans itself. The simple wisdom of her words hit Terry like a revelation. Around them, adults were wiping their own eyes as they listened to this 6-year-old child counsel a grown man with more insight than most trained therapists could offer. "You know what?" Terry said, his voice growing stronger. "You're absolutely right. I think I've been so busy trying to be strong for everyone else that I forgot it's okay to be sad sometimes." Emma smiled her gap-toothed grin. "My abuela says the strongest people are the ones who can be sad and happy and scared and brave all at the same time. Like superheroes with feelings." Terry laughed through his tears, a genuine deep laugh that seemed to release months of pent-up emotion. Superheroes with feelings. I like that. "Will you tell your dad stories about the good times?" Emma asked. "Even if he can't remember, maybe his heart will still feel the love." "Yes," Terry promised, feeling lighter than he had in months. "I'll tell him stories every day." Emma stood up and gave Terry the biggest hug her small arms could manage. "I think you're gonna be okay, mister. And I think your dad's heart remembers you even when his brain doesn't." As Terry hugged this remarkable little girl back, he felt something shift inside him. The weight of expectation, the pressure to always be the strong one, the isolation of his grief, all of it began to transform into something more manageable. Through a child's honest question and wise heart, he had found permission to be human, to be vulnerable, and to heal. Maria Rodriguez approached and placed a gentle hand on Terry's shoulder. "Sometimes," she said with a knowing smile, "God sends us exactly what we need through the smallest messengers." The crowd that had gathered began to disperse, but many approached Terry to share their own stories of loss, of caring for aging parents, of the struggle to balance strength with vulnerability. Emma's simple question had created a space for authentic human connection that went far beyond celebrity and fame. As the sun set over Lincoln Park, Terry realized that this unexpected encounter had given him something precious. The understanding that true strength comes not from hiding our pain, but from sharing it with others who can hold it with us. If this story about finding strength through vulnerability and the wisdom of children touched your heart, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring human stories. Share this video with someone who might need to hear that it's okay to be sad and strong at the same time. Hit the notification bell and let us know in the comments about a time when a child's wisdom surprised you. Your support helps us continue sharing these powerful reminders that healing often comes from the most unexpected sources.